Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Nathan. Known Steve for about 6 years now. Through that time, we've gotten into a lot of stuff together, bailed each other out on a lot. He's always been a great friend to me. It's got me out of a lot of hairy situations. But now, I'm going to tell you about my 3 favorite stories where I got to bail Steve out. So the first one, just a regular night in Philly. We went out to our favorite watering hole. On the way home, Steve decided that he was done with the night. So he literally laid in the middle of the sidewalk, perpendicular, and tried to pass out. So I was talking to him and I said, "Hey Steve, man, we got to go inside. This is not your bed." And he said, "No." And I said, "Steve, you're in the middle of the sidewalk. We can't sleep out here." And he's like, "I don't care." And I said, "Come on, Steve, we got to go inside." And he goes, "I'm not going anywhere." So this went on for a few more minutes, and I finally got him up. We walked inside, we walked up the stairwell, and he did the same thing again in the middle of the hall at the monastery. So went through the same song and dance again. "Steve, we gotta get up, man." "No." "Steve, you're in the middle of the living room. We gotta go upstairs." "I don't care." So finally got him up, finally got him to bed. He passed out. So I don't know if anyone knows that embarrassing story, but now you do. Second story, we were in St. Thomas. We were at a very good friend of ours' wedding, Vicky, what's up? And we were honorary bridesmaids, which was wonderful. So we're hanging out at this field next to the beach for the rehearsal dinner, or the rehearsal, and we've been drinking in St. Thomas, of course. So while this is going on, Steve starts swaying. Steve is a big man, and everyone noticed, obviously. And he's giggling. Everything that's going on is hilarious to Steve. So I can see Vicky getting really pissed. So for the next 45 minutes, I literally have to put my hand up between Steve's shoulders and stop him from falling over, because he's just just giggling at everything. And I have to whisper to him, "Steve, not here, man. Steve, keep it down, Steve. Steve, come on, man. Gotta keep it down." We got through that night. I don't know if he went to bed early when we all went out for dinner, but there's number 2. Number 3, probably my favorite time. We met up in France, and we decided, kind of on a whim, to take a train into Germany. So Steve and I got into Frankfurt at like 11 p.m. We stashed all of our worldly possessions in train locker, and we went to the train concierge, asked them where the bars were, rolled out, went to the first bar we saw. The rest of the night kind of went as you would expect. We split up somehow, not really sure when or how, but I rolled into the train station the next day at like 8:45 in the morning. I look around and I'm like, all right, Steve's not here. This could go one of 2 ways. I could never see him again. Or, oh, in typical Steve fashion, luckiest man I know, he rolls in like 2 minutes later. Just, "What's up, Nate?" You know, always. But Steve is like a zombie, because I guess he had, I don't know, had some crazy German beers, or maybe he'd been roofied. I don't know, because he was pretty much worthless. We had to get from the train station to our campsite, which was probably about 10 miles by a German metro. So I'm sitting there with the big German kiosk trying to figure out where we're going to go, trying to speak to people. I don't know any German, neither does Steve. But Steve has his backpack behind his head, lying on the floor in the middle of the sidewalk, just hanging out. And he goes, "Nate, you're going to have to take this one." And I was like, "All right, Steve, no problem." So figure out the train, get Steve on this train. Steve passes out. Figure out halfway there that the nice German man who told us where to go gave us wrong directions, so we had to get back off the train, back on the right train. Steve passed out again. All the while, I have to lug my backpack, Steve's backpack, and giant-ass Steve around onto the train. We finally get to the campsite, which is another like mile walk to our camp for some reason, and Steve passes out in the field, and I have to set up the whole camp myself, but we made it. Steve lived. You're welcome. Steve, I love you, buddy. Happy birthday, man. I'll see you soon.